Hi, guys. Herb Stratford, KMSB Fox 11 Tucson. Great to be with you guys.
Nice
Yeah,
to be
you
with
too,
you.
man.
So, Christopher, let me start with you. This film is just such a great blend of not only humor but empathy. And I think was that something you set out when you set out to write this? Did you want to tell a story in a way that sort of captured both those worlds?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, my co-writer Patrick Pianezza was a real paramedic for 12 years, so he lived the life, and basically every call they go on in the movie is based on a real call he went on. So we had this huge amount of material to draw from, and me, I'm a movie director. I'm not a paramedic. But the more I talked about it with him, the more you find out what the real job is. Like we all think we know, we all watch TV. It is not what you think. And so I wanted to make a movie where we get to get in the ambulance with this trio and do a 24-hour shift and discover what it really feels like. And it's the whole spectrum of things. Like it's really funny and it's boring sometimes and it's heartbreaking and like that's what the job is. And it's just this crazy, crazy last ride for Rainn Wilson's character.
And I think honestly, I think, we've seen, certainly we've seen paramedic movies, but they seem to be always rooted in the deepest, darkest, and there's really very little light in those films. And I thought that was one of the things that was just so refreshing that even in the face of sort of all of this despair, you could still find humor.
I think that's right. Well, I mean, I think that's how paramedics survive is with humor, with gallows humor sometimes, but like they have to keep going. And I think that was the genius of Patrick's take was to tell the truth was to tell it as a comedy, which was so interesting to me. And even though the movie's got a lot of energy and it goes to some weird and sometimes pretty dark places, but yeah, the fact that like he constantly found the funny in it, I thought was fascinating.
It was. So Rob, I feel like you're really channeling some seriously big D energy in this film. Um, did you base Dr. Serrano's character on anybody that you had known in the past or met, or just sort of doctors with God complexes, or
No, it's funny though. Usually, most, not most, well, yeah, maybe most, I don't know, but a lot of the roles that I play are comedic jerks. This guy was more of just a straight jerk. But I also had a great empathy for him. I had a great empathy for him because I think running an ER and having the just the influx and the flow of patients that are just relentlessly coming through those doors. I think it would burn anybody down, not just the paramedics, but the nurses and the doctors at the ER. So I actually had a little empathy for his anger and his I'm over it, I'm over everything attitude. But yeah, no, I have doctor friends and I have people that know a little bit about the world. So I asked them some questions and they said, yeah, this is pretty much it. So.
well, and I thought, it could have just come off as one dimensional, but that scene in front of the vending machines just really brought it all back to, this guy may be presenting that facade, but he's really struggling with the same things that Rain is struggling with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever been in high stress jobs or high stress situations where there's a lot at stake, the stakes aren't low, the stakes are very high, and so you got to get it right. And then you can't do it all by yourself, so you have to rely on a team. And if the team around you, or the people around you, are flubbing up or doing extra or making your life harder, you burn out of those patients within a couple months, and you start yelling and you become the hammer to a lot of these things, and that's just the real world. I've seen that in the Marines, I've seen it elsewhere, but so I appreciated the raw energy of what was on the page.
So, Christopher, this cast is just so absolutely, chef's kiss. It's just fabulous, and that dynamic between Lil Ray and Rain. Did you guys have when you were writing? Did you have sort of people in mind, or you just went it through the casting process?
No, I always knew the cast had to be actors who were grounded in comedy but could go to the dark side, right? I mean, like I said, like Rob, I think Rob was one of the funniest people alive. Um, but he said there's a scene where he kind of like opens up and like suddenly this character who's been a jerk the whole movie suddenly dimensionalizes in front of you. But no, like Rain read the script pretty early on, and I was already a huge Rainn Wilson fan, and that really, I mean, I really started working with him. He pushed the script to be better, and then the script really kind of, shaped around him, and like I really tried to write to kind of his voice and his sensibility, and then right, Lil Rel, uh, I thought they were going to be a comedic match, and they really seemed to click. But again, both those guys, I mean, they're really funny in the movie and they're really funny together, but both of them have scenes that are pretty tough.
Well, and I think it's not just the nice thing is the ensemble, with Rob and with Nicole and Amy. I mean, you have such a great group of people around them that it doesn't all fall on their shoulders, but at the same time, when it does, it works. And that's got to be sort of it felt like lightning in a bottle, to be honest with you. Just those
Oh,
two together.
thanks. I mean, imagine how I feel. I mean, no, I was ecstatic. Yeah.
So Rob, I felt like at the end of this, with the reveal that I'm not going to mention on this interview, but I felt like, maybe we should lobby somebody for more. Like, I want more of you in that hospital in the new dynamic.
Hey, your lips to God's ears. I'll take it. Yeah, listen, I enjoy any opportunity to act and to play roles that are interesting and just it's very cliche, but it's every actor wants the opportunity to play interesting characters, and I think this character is very interesting. I think there's a lot that is told. I think all the characters, they all are going through they're all going through it. And they're all burnt out and they're all tired and the storytelling is fantastic. And I really think the actors, the whole cast did a wonderful job of nailing their roles.
Well, and I think I think when we think about medical procedurals, just like legal procedurals, it just seems like we're seeing sort of the same thing over and over again, what the networks are offering us. And that's why one of the things I thought was so fresh about this was it was like it felt just a little more honest and a little less sort of TV-ish, if that makes sense. So I applaud you for that. And I know I'm running out of time, but Christopher, I just want to talk about, some of the things I really loved. And I don't know if they were early in the script or they developed, but obviously the fourth wall breaking and things like this, the salaries on screen, that was just like such an eye opener for people. And I mean, doctors make money, but it was like, wow.
No, when you realize how little these guys make, how paramedics make like just barely above minimum wage, and they're the people you rely on to save your life. Like, I mean, when you call 911, you've run out of options, right? That's your Hail Mary. No, and all the fourth wall breaks came. I'm just talking to Patrick and suddenly discovering that like, it's just so much easier. Like Patrick would break things down for me and be like, no, no, nobody actually dies in the ambulance. You're not allowed to die in the ambulance. We have to keep working on you. So I was like, well, that should be in the movie. And at some point you just go, I'm just going to have the main character turn to camera and go, look, this is how it works. And that suddenly kind of opened it up and the movie became much more elastic and like, a little bit of a Warner Brothers cartoon.
No, I love that. And Rob, I just got to say, back to my earlier point, but you going to do another movie with Christopher? Like, what's next? You guys got to do something else together.
Hey, come on. Are you kidding? All he's got to do is call and I'm there. So that's easy. That's solved. But yes, I love the opportunity to work with great people. And obviously Christopher's one of them. So yes.
Excellent. Well, I think I'm just about out of time, but I want to thank you guys both for such a delightful and sort of heartwarming and sort of life-affirming film. And I'm excited to have our audience to see it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks, guys.